Armenia, Switzerland, Ireland, Cyprus, Fuego. Yes, they brought the heat today during their second rehearsals at Eurovision 2018, and I think we need to talk about it. Are you guys ready? Let's do this! Yes, kicking things off today was Armenia. There are political winds, political kami in Armenia, but he is unfazed, he is standing strong, and he is bringing light. There is talk of new democracy in that country, and the wind is blowing on this stage, honey. Previously, it was gray, it was dark, there was no color. Today, he adds life, starting with blue lights. They transition to red lights, and then we have strobe lights, we have fog. This is so much stronger. It's much more stirring. I think things are looking much better for Armenia today. Last time it was austere and maybe a little boring. Today it is gripping. It's a fine line and they ride it well.
Last time it was austere and a little boring. Today it is a little less austere and a little less boring. It's just they've added some blue lights, some fog. Nothing has changed. The song is still the same song. He still performs it the same way he always did. Yes, it's brighter, but the more and more I look at the list of countries in the semi-final, the more inclined I'm to think that Armenia just might not make it this year.
I mean, I'm actually going to disagree with you again on this one because I thought that was really good. I thought that he's really so far up to his game. He's got such power, and I worry that actually because he's on later than Nugent, because they're both such amazing male vocalists, different kinds of songs, but I can see people grouping them together, and I think that might just steal votes away from him because, yeah, Kami is really, really powerful. There is obviously another story going on there, which, you know, is continuing to happen literally as we're speaking in Armenia. So I don't know what that effect that may or may not have, but I just feel like it gives it a bit more extra power and a bit more extra meaning, I think. And you know what? He's really, really good. I just wish that there was a bit more colour on him because he's still wearing this kind of like grey tunic robe thing, and I actually prefer still what he was wearing at Deputy Ratterseal, but even if he had maybe like a silver accent or just something that brightened him up a bit, because he still does have a tendency to sort of fade into the background during the performance, but his voice does push him back out of it. So just to help him out, give him that little bit extra something, I think. But otherwise, so much better than that first rehearsal.
I'm really curious to see how the political situation in Armenia is impacting how they present this, because I have a feeling you can't just ignore what's happening when there's such upheaval in your country, or not upheaval because it's been peaceful, but such change. It'll be really curious to see their take on it. In any case, we move on to Switzerland, second to rehearse today. Coco is so confident. That C is for confidence. Girl is wearing a crop top, showing her flat pack abs, working that stage, turning it into a catwalk. Confident, an off-duty model ready to slay. Vocally, she was on point. Visually, her brother banging on those drums, on point. I love the Sanna Nielsen undo shot from far away, all the strobes coming down in a circle. This looks expensive, this looks exciting. It makes a song that is so for me really pop. It's just a shame they're in this semifinal. If they were in the second semifinal, they would sail through, I think. Now it's still an uphill battle, but at least they are walking up the hill as opposed to falling down it. Well done, Switzerland. One of your best stage performances, I think, in a long time.
Yeah, they're really doing the best with what they've got. The question is that still good enough? It would be hard for them to do much better, but at the end of the day, they still have the song that they have. And in this semi-final, it's not standing out. And the cage, the Sanna Nielsen-like cage effect is very impressive. The flares are very impressive. Coco looks stunning when she's showing off her midriff. But I don't know, it's still hard to connect with the song. When there's 18 other songs, it's just so hard for any song to stand out.
Yeah.
And Switzerland is already a step behind because the song isn't quite as strong as other songs. But yeah, it was a competent performance. They didn't need to change much from the last time. They just tweaked very minor things today.
I'm getting a little bored by it, actually, and this is me, the Switzerland fanboy. I think that it's a good performance, but in this semi-final, you can't just rely on being a good performance. You need to have something that really elevates it. She has her flair. It's sadder than Sarah Alto's Pyro, so that kind of ruins that. at the same time, you know, she runs around the stage, she does a lot, but then again, so do AWS, and they do it better. Different semi-finals, so that doesn't affect them as much, but again, I'm looking at this now having seen AWS perform, and that kind of just like blows this out the water. And generally speaking, it falls a little flat. There's too many wide shots for me, and there's only 2 of them, and it's harder to fill the stage like that, and it's sort of that weird balance where some people, they didn't need to fill the stage because they do better camera work, whereas this, it's just, I don't know. I always love Switzerland, but I'm just kind of getting to the point now where I think I might have just accepted its fate. I don't have this down as a qualifier at the moment. I don't have it anywhere near qualifying, so.
Coco girl, hold that flare. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. She's flying the flag. I'm loving the power. I'm wishing you luck. All right. And I know that was France, not Switzerland, but like I just wanted to
they
use
speak French.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So who was next? It was Ireland. This is very smooth. This is like a flowing river. Other people use lots of angular, quick, jerky camera cuts. This, like the music video, is a series of continuous shots. It's very smooth. It flows. It fits with the atmosphere. Today he's wearing all black with white horizontal stripes at the waist. His piano player is wearing a black top with a pussy bow, and the pussy bow has white stripes, so they are matching, showing that connection. The dancers were great. I really just love how intimate this feels, the atmosphere. It fits with the song. It looks less cheap today to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've slept. I'm just more aware. But this is starting to really come together for me. I think they can be very proud of this. Sometimes people complain about Ireland's staging. And this, yes, it's simple. It's definitely simple, but it works for me with this song. I think they've improved this with their nipping and tucking.
Yeah, like there have been slight changes that the woman on the piano, she's kind of more in the background.
Yeah.
Whereas on whatever day the first rehearsal was, she was kind of nearly as much in the foreground as the rest of them, that it felt that it was focusing on her story with Ryan, the 2 dancers, and then Ryan's story with us at home. Whereas she's more kind of ancillary now.
Yeah.
But then the problem is, well, one of the issues is that the dancers, when they're coming in over the bridge, you're kind of like squinting, you're like, what's going on? Because they're very much in the shadow and the gloom, and I think they need to turn it up, the brightness, a little bit, because they kind of have a nice cozy feel with the old school street lamp in the background, but it just needs to, I think, make the dancers stand out and pop a bit more.
Yeah, they have props to Ireland. They have worked on that whole 2 different stories thing. The pianist still is in it a bit too much for my liking. I think they really should just focus on the dancers and then just maybe cut into Ryan every now and again. Because actually he looked a little disinterested or something. He does look like he was the background player when it's his song at the end of the day. So I don't know. I think maybe if he is going to look like that, just focus on the dancers, because they have some lovely moments. There's that bit when the snow is falling down and they just like rest back to back and their heads are on each other's shoulders. That is a lovely, lovely shot. So fair play. The choreography for that bit is amazing. I agree on the lighting, but I wonder whether it's just because the screens in the press room where we are most of the time, things don't show up as clearly. They have a lot of like copyright notices that we can't see through. So I wonder whether on a TV screen that does help it a little bit. It's the same thing with Lithuania yesterday in the graphics. So I think maybe that's the thing, but it does feel, even then, I think it might be a little dark, and I get what they're going for, but just like a couple of notches up won't hurt anything. It won't ruin your effect. So maybe just do that, Ireland. And he might be in with a shot then.
He will come to life with the people around him. He is used to big stages, not empty ones. I'm feeling good. I still don't know if this will qualify, but I'm feeling better than I did. All right, rounding out this first lot of acts is Cyprus, Eleni, Fuego. You guys, the fire is finally on point. Previously, the on-screen digital flames were shooting out of her nether regions, leading to all manner of inappropriate jokes and vulgarity. But today, they come out where they should. At one point, from the ankles, like an ancient Greek god. Later, from the back, again, like an ancient Greek god. She's paying homage to history, but pulling it forward with her Beyonce-like choreography. The vocals were not as sound today, but I think she's not giving it her all today, because it was more about making sure she's in the right place, nailing the choreography. She's holding back, resting that beautiful voice for when it matters. That is what you do when you are a goddess. You know when to release your powers and when to hold back. This is so, so good. I don't think the graphics look nearly as cheap. Before, there was questions about the the expense of them, but now it's really refined, it's coming together. This is just great. It's gripping from the first opening shot where she's emerging from what appears to be a sea of fog or smoke or gasoline smoke. It's just amazing. She's the woman rising from the ashes in a hot cat suit and just slaying the day. Every time this comes on, I want to watch all 3 minutes of it. It is so visually arresting, and it changes throughout the song, keeping your interest. This could be Cyprus's best result ever.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. And on the vocal issue, she was holding back, but I think she went, and the first rehearsal she went extra hard because she had a point to prove. Because before that, everyone was like, Eleni Foureira can't sing, Eleni Foureira doesn't sing live, blah blah blah. Well, she got rid of those rumours during the first rehearsal, and so she didn't need to prove herself today, and so she could kind of take it easy and just coast along. The choreography was slick and on point. Like, the choreography, we said it before, is effectively a prop, and like the moves, they're so in sync, and it's nearly like her and her dancers become like one and are kind of an animal. Like, I don't know, quite like it nearly reminds me of a centipede or something. Do you know, they have the move where they're kind of like all like just moving along, and it's like they're one unit. But the graphics were probably the big weak link last time, and they've mostly been resolved. I think they could be touched up a little bit more to look more realistic. They still look very much like computer generated flames, but yes, the movement is gone, so she is no longer farting flames or giving birth to flames, and it's much more tasteful as a result.
Yeah, I mean, even in the first run through, it still looked like they were coming out of her knees this time, and it still looked a bit dodgy, but then they worked on it, and now it's coming out from her chest effectively, and yeah, a lot better. And I just really think that this could easily win the semi-final, actually.
Easily.
And then who knows after that, because it is. I actually was saying this to William when we were watching it. I just looked at it and I was like, this is the best pop song of this kind, with this movement, with this choreography that we've seen in years at Eurovision. And it's not quite Helena Paparizou, my number one, but you know, when there's a vibe about it and there's an energy, and it's not like an Imri Ziv or a Laura Tesoro where they put her on last just as a throwaway and then put her on first in the actual final. This could be a contender. I genuinely think that top 5 is not out of the question for this, and it's my opinion of the song has changed, because I did think when I first heard it was a bit throwaway, but seeing it all come together, it is just so effective, and she looks so good. Oh my God, that woman is
He's turning right before us. This is one of the few fun songs in the competition. It's going to help it so much. Congratulations, Cyprus. In any case, that is what we think. What do you think? Do you think that Armenia, Switzerland, Ireland, or Cyprus could challenge for the win? Who is going to the final? Who improved for you? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
And we've got more reaction videos for second rehearsals for semi-final 2, and we've the big automatic qualifiers coming up this evening, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of those.
It's a long day, so please give us that like.
Send us your energy. We need it. We'll see you later. Bye.